Good morning. I'm Mayor Cheryl Brothers. I'm here today with Republic Services Facility in Huntington Beach. Because we are social distanced here today, I am going to take off my mask to be better understood for this video. So we're here to talk trash today. I'm here with Debbie Kiley. She's Community Relations Manager. Debbie, thank you for joining us today with your busy schedule to update our community on what is happening in the trash world. Before we get into that, let's talk about how long Republic Services has been serving Fountain Valley community. I think it's probably 50 years.
At the end of 2014, Republic Services purchased Rainbow. Rainbow Environmental Services has been a part of the community for over 50 years, just like you said. So that's right. We've been here a while helping the community.
And they are a big help to the community. They do compile all of our recycling statistics, which has to get reported to the state. And without them, we would have to hire additional Fountain Valley staff, which some cities do. But we're lucky to have Republic Services doing that for us. So tell us a little bit about what happens to our trash once it gets in the trash truck.
Well, the good news is, Cheryl, it's not all trash. We are able to source separate the materials so we can put them back into the circular economy to be used for and repurposed for new materials again. So what residents will see at their houses are, for the trash bins, those are black or brown. You're all very familiar with that. The green bins are for your yard waste and your green waste. And the blue bins are for recycling. And that's all the bottles, cans, paper, plastic, things of that nature. Once the trash is collected, the trash or the material is collected at the residence, we bring it back here to our facility and we put it onto our transfer station floor, where it is then transported into a larger truck, where it could either, depending on the material type, it will go to the Bowerman landfill if it's trash, and that's in Irvine. If it's green waste or yard waste, that we are able to recycle through land application. If it's the food waste from the commercial businesses, we're able to take that out to compost. And the recyclables actually go to our recycling center in Anaheim.
I know that I try not to buy plastic water bottles. I have many reusable bottles that I fill before I leave home. But they're so convenient, unfortunately. So I end up with a few. Could you tell me, that goes in the blue barrel, and then what happens to that recycled material?
So the critical piece of recycling in the blue bin is making sure that the material you put in there is empty, clean, and dry. The contamination reduces its ability to be recycled, and it could end up going to disposal. And you don't put it in the blue bin thinking it's going to go to the landfill. You definitely want that to be repurposed. I think we all have desires for that to happen. So once it gets to the recycling center in Anaheim, I talked about how it came here and then we transfer it over to the Anaheim facility. We have lots of technology and hand sorting capabilities there that will separate out the materials. So we have eddy currents, they're called eddy currents for the aluminum, magnets for all the metal. We have a special fiber sorting machine. We have optical sorters for the plastics and different glasses. So it's a pretty involved process to separate out those materials. And once they're all together, we bale them and then we'll send them to a recycler who will then turn it into new materials.
Terrific. All right. So there used to be a motto of when in doubt, throw it out, which meant put it in the black barrel. Are we still doing that?
If you are in doubt, I do feel like we would throw it out. Recycling has been challenging over the last few years. So the things that you throw in there that could contaminate are actually a bigger problem than if we can recycle it. So unfortunately, I think that saying is probably more apropos than we would like to think.
So I'm going to use an example. I have a plastic peanut butter jar, which if it were clean would be recycled. But it's definitely not clean, and because I conserve water, I'm not going to wash it. So what would I do with that peanut butter jar?
So this is a good question. I've gotten it in the past. Peanut butter is sticky and gross, and it is something that is a contaminant inside. The requirements for empty, clean, and dry are 0.01%. So you do want to try to get as much out. What we tell residents they can do, you can use, if you're using paper towels or something when you're doing your, for dinner, your napkin, you can wipe it out with one of those. I'm not a fan of paper towels, but if you have an extra something in the trash that you can use to wipe it out, then you can avoid using water.
And pizza boxes. Some of mine look cleaner than others when I'm through with them, but some have quite a bit of oil. So do I decide if it's too much oil, or does Republic?
You decide. So pizza boxes have the oils, as you're saying, and it ruins the cardboard. It's no longer recyclable. So for those hardcore recyclers, we tell them that you can cut the lid off and put that in the recycle, and then the bottom you would put into the trash.
Okay, so that is an option.
Yeah.
And the top's
definitely.
almost always clean.
Yeah, the top's almost always clean.
Unless you turn it over on the way home. So that is interesting, and consumers can do so much to help the environment. Let's say my trash was not picked up on my regular scheduled day. What do I do about that? Who can I call to report it? How long should it take to have my trash picked up?
So our Huntington Beach facility that picks up the trash in Fountain Valley, we're proud to have a 99.9% on-time service delivery. So this is a rare occurrence, but I know it happens. We may have road construction or a call out or a truck breaks down, which then changes the route for the day. And many consumers are used to their trash being picked up at a certain time every week. So then they start to get concerned. Or if we do miss it because a different a driver has gone on the route. So what we recommend is you calling into our call center, and we can have a truck rerouted to come out and pick it up within 24 hours of calling in. But we do recommend, or we do actually, you are required to put that bin out by 7 a.m. every day, because our drivers are out there bright and early, and if a route changes, you want to make sure your stuff gets picked up.
And the routes do change from time to time.
They do.
For a lot of reasons. I also suspect that with COVID and more people at home cleaning things out, there may be more trash than usual. And when that truck gets full, it has to go unload and then resume his route. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And with COVID hitting, we've had a large increase in the volume at residents. So that is making our trucks fill up a lot faster. So for the city of Fountain Valley, the average across the nation has been 15 to 30% more trash volume at residences. And that includes the recycle. I mean, it's just the volume of material. And it has had an impact.
So we also have, years ago when we were doing a contract, we established something called the 10-4 Bulky Item Program. Can you explain what that is and how that works?
Yes, that's a great program for the residents of Fountain Valley. We call it 10-4 just to give it an easy way to remember it. So it's 10 items you can put out for pickup 4 times a year. And these are items that don't fit into your trash can or your recycle bin or whatever, where you would like to dispose of this material. So that is for single family residents only, but you are able, as a multifamily or a business, able to bring it to our campus here. And there are specific things you can and can't put out for bulky. We can't take household hazardous waste. We recommend that you bring that here to our facility, to the county's household hazardous waste section, but to facility. So if you look on our website, we have a flyer that shows all of the information of what you can and can't put out for bulky.
What happens with a mattress and box springs?
So the state of California has passed some extended producer responsibility pieces of legislation, and one of those has provided some funding for a program called Bye Bye Mattress. So a facility such as ours can apply for being a registered facility to collect mattresses, and then we get paid for each mattress. So with that, we're able to extend that onto the residents of Fountain Valley by providing that service for free. So when you have a mattress and a box spring that you no longer want, you can bring it to our facility for free. And it also is a part of the 10-4 program.
That's terrific. Can you share some information on cart service? And can I request additional carts? And is there additional fees?
So the cart program for single-family residents, every resident can get 3 carts. As I talked about a little bit before, we have the black-brown bin. They look a little bit the same to me. The green bin and the blue bin, and residents can request additional carts if they need to, and that would be calling our customer service line. Everyone can get 1 additional cart.
So that is a lot of information for our residents and businesses who are unaware maybe of all the services that Republic provides. Let's talk about some tough items. What is some of the new legislation mandates coming down from the state, and how will that impact residents and businesses in the next year or two? And when will it go into effect? And have you worked out a plan yet?
A lot of questions.
Yes, there is. It's all wrapped around some new legislation.
It absolutely is. So in the solid waste and recycling industry, the legislation has been focused on organics. Organics, when it breaks down in the landfill, produces methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas and air pollutant. So a lot of the legislation we've seen in the last few years has really focused on that. And with 40% of our waste that goes to a landfill is organics. These are materials that we could break down into making healthy soils or doing something more productive with it. So since 2016 in the city of Fountain Valley, we have been working with businesses to get them on an organics recycling program. It's been a tiered process. Larger volume generators we're focused on first, and as time has gone on, we've hit more and more businesses across the city. Then, and this law that I'm referring to is AB 1826, and it's the mandatory commercial organics recycling. So that's been going on for a while, and we've been working in the city. At this point, the state, just effective this month, has reduced the threshold to all businesses that produce 2 cubic yards of trash. And if you want to get an idea of what that is, a regular dumpster in the back of most businesses is 3 cubic yards. So it's pretty much all businesses. So it's really affecting everybody in the community. So after 1826, another piece of legislation that came down was AB 1594. And that's the one where with residents, we used to be able to take that green waste to the landfill to be able to be used towards the diversion goals for the city. All cities in the state have these diversion goals for recycling material. We can't do that anymore. And that happened this year. So unfortunately, it came with some changes to the residential rates, and we apologize for that. It was a state legislative item. But it's for the good, and that sometimes it's hard to balance the good with the cost of things, which leads us into the next thing that's going to happen, and that's SB 1383. That's the big one. This is a very, very substantial piece of legislation that's going to affect everyone in the community. It's going to affect residents, businesses, the city, many departments within the city. It has more requirements for the collection of the material, the reporting of the material, the enforcement of the programs, and the procurement of materials. So this may all sound very, very boring, but it's going to be very, very substantial for the community. And it's going to require more infrastructure, more labor, and unfortunately more cost. And that cost, like I talked about, is going to be passed down to, us as the provider, to the businesses, to the residents, and to the city to follow all that. But again, the reason for this is to help reduce air pollution. So, sometimes it's a little painful to make something better. So it's coming, Cheryl.
Yes, I'm aware it's coming. Actually, I've been aware of this for some time. And it is going to make a difference in how you handle your waste from your house, primarily in organics. And it will definitely make a difference. But I know Republic, as our partner, is working on ways to best manage that. So stay tuned for that.
We were initially declared an essential business. We kept going out collecting the trash, but just by the very nature of our business, we're already used to dealing with material that you don't want to touch. So we've already had hats, glasses, gloves, masks, safety gear for our employees and our drivers. But when COVID hit, we really had to step it up. We did extra sanitizing of the trucks, of the facility. We are proud that we were still able to move forward and service the community.
It is difficult to keep up with all the state mandates. that are being pushed down to the local level. And they do have implications for everyone. So at the end of the day, these laws do impact our residents and businesses. And sometimes we appreciate that our legislature has recesses and takes breaks during the year. It gives us a chance to relax a little bit too. So I want to thank you, Debbie, from Republic Services, for joining me today and updating our community. Do you have any other comments you'd like to make?
Well, thank you for thinking of us and including us in one of your weekly mayoral updates. We really appreciate that. So as an essential service, Republic Services started a campaign when COVID hit to be committed to serve, because we are in the communities, keeping them healthy, safe, and clean. And we provided monies for all of our business units across the nation to purchase meals from local businesses to help them in March, April, and May keep in business for that time frame. In the Huntington Beach office, we have a Committed to Serve banner, which we had every employee sign when COVID hit to show their support of being in our community, committed to serve.
On other news in Fountain Valley, registration is open now for the Fountain Valley Drive-In movie at the Sports Park on October 24th. There are 2 showings. Hotel Transylvania will show at 6:30 and Hocus Pocus at 9:30. Each movie is $20. You will stay in your car. You can bring refreshments, bring your dinner, of course, bring the kids, especially for that first movie. There will be parking on the lawn, and there are people there to help you find a space. So get your tickets now, because this event does sell out. It's a fun evening for the family. Our seniors have a Bloomin' Zoomin' Seniors Speaker Series lineup coming up, starting on Tuesday, October 6th. It's disaster preparedness for seniors. Following that will be a patient project going on at UCI, Energy in Your Future, and High Cap, what's new for 2021. And the information of each of those dates and how to enroll is on your screen. Don't forget, the Fountain Valley Fire Department will have a drive-through open house on October 10th from 10 to noon. The drive-through, because of the traffic, will be at the sports park. You enter on Brookhurst at Heil. If you have questions, please call our Fountain Valley Fire Department, 593-4436, and that information is on your screen. You don't need to register, you just need to show up. We have a new offering in Fountain Valley. It's called Shop 92708. It's a coupon book put together by Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, Fountain Valley Living Magazine, and the City of Fountain Valley. This is a fundraiser for nonprofit groups. The book is $20, $8,000 worth of coupons for services and food, all in Fountain Valley. This is the great bargain of the year, and it will help support our nonprofit groups and our restaurants. Use these coupons, try something new, or go back to a place you know. There's more information on how to get these books on the Chamber website. If you missed the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce Council Candidates Forum live on September 14th, you can view that video at home on the city's website, and that information is on your screen. I recommend that you watch that video before you mark your ballot. City of Fountain Valley has 2 council seats for the November election. There are 7 city council candidates on your ballot. For information on the 2020 general municipal election, you can go to the city's website or the Orange County Registrar's website, and that information is on your screen. So we're all voting by mail this time. There are ballot boxes in Fountain Valley, 2 locations, and it's a perfect place to drop your finished ballot. Don't forget to sign the envelope. If you don't sign it, it won't count. And remember to vote. So let's keep Orange County moving in the right direction during this pandemic. Wear a mask when you go out, stay 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Until next time, stay well.